Summer, River was a very mysterious character, lots of secrets, she's very troubled. But what was the key for you in playing that character?
Remembering myself as the which was like 2 years before. Pretty much it.
Joss, I just want to know, it's hard to hear over here sometimes. I'd also love to know, just like how important were these actors in sort of bringing your vision to life? And you just talk about like casting, like Summer, like why was she perfect for River?
You can't change your mind now. I've already got cast.
Sure. George Lucas could. Did you believe me?
Oh no, you didn't! Oh snap!
I'm not saying we had a meeting about it. I'm just saying. These, as I've said before, are honestly the finest meat puppets that I've ever controlled. It's hard for me because I do remember the time before these people played these parts. I remember the audition process. I remember, you know, it was an incredibly long and ghastly process, quite frankly. And yet, then comes written history where these were the people before I wrote it. And I feel like somehow, at some point, I was in a hotel in London and I finished this book, you know, which is a story I've told many times, The Killer Angels, and it's like, this is the story I want to tell, but with Han Solo in it. And I feel like the moment that happened, like all of them sort of like were somewhere just like went, like they became somebody else. And they didn't know it yet, but they were those people before they met me. And even if they hadn't been playing them or playing that particular type of person, it just, Summer is so crazy. You know, the amount of vulnerability and strength that she can convey is beyond magnetic. It is, you know, I look at her and I think I will come with her if I want to live.
And Joss, why was Nathan the perfect captain for the series? Why was Nathan feeling the perfect captain for Serenity?
Okay. You know, you have to make compromises at some point. But before I wax lyrical, I just want to say one other thing. Watching that, because I haven't watched the show in a while, Jewel makes me cry, and Gina is the most badass woman I've ever seen. The people who are not here, my heart is breaking that they're not here. Not just to experience this, but because I miss them so much. And that's ridiculous, because look what I got. But I'm still greedy and I want more. I want the whole set. Two, one that I can keep in the box, well, in a jar in my basement. Another that I can play with for real. I don't know how to first of all, I know no matter what I say, he's going to make a face. Then it's going to change the context of whatever I'm saying. I'll stare at you. Restraint, dignity. There was never a moment from the time we met where I did not think you were the captain. And anybody who knows the history of what went after the show, up to and including a party at your house like 3 weeks ago, knows that Nathan is a captain. The thing that, you know, Alan will say, he is there to make make sure that everybody is having the best time doing their best work. That's partially the job of the executive producer or the director. The DP also has a big influence on the crew, but the captain of a ship and the star of a show both have a responsibility that most actors are not up to or ignore, or even if they're trying to do it, they can't convey the enormous gravitas that this clown can. And to have a man who, when he looks at you, you go, and he's not happy with you, and I know, and I think we can all remember there was we had a visiting actor who was very disrespectful to some of the females in the cast, and he got a taste of what Nathan's like when somebody threatens his loved ones. Just a little piece. You don't want that. You don't want Nathan. He gets very Canadian. And Alan's in it too.
I think we should get into fan questions here pretty quick. Just two more questions before we do that. Adam, I'd love to hear just like what has the fan phenomenon, the brown coats have kept this thing alive for 10 years. What has it meant to you?
Kelly Wheeler was a woman who worked in our office, and she was assistant to Gareth Davies, our production manager, producer, and she introduced us all to the online community, and that outreach that got to us, and the feedback that fans were able to give to us over time really was inspirational. And I was talking about this earlier today, that upon cancellation of the film, I ran up to Joss's office because I had been not on the set when the announcement was made, and I saw him diligently trying to get it back up in the air, and I saw this look of determination in his eyes, and I never gave up hope. And the feedback from the fan, I was never able to say anything, it was always up to Joss, but when the fan community that was interacting with us at that point, they never gave up, and I think Joss understood that you never gave up, and so he never did either. So one of the most heartwarming and wonderful times of my entire life was watching that show be resurrected as a major motion picture. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
I sometimes look back and I think of the movie Serenity as one of the finest nervous breakdowns a man could possibly have.
And expensive.
I was inconsolable, and it changed me, and it changed the way I work, and it changed the way I operate, because there was no reality where I would not get these people back together. There was just none. I've never been that before. And really, I don't give a shit about anything since. So that was the one time. It was almost like being a man. Or so I have read.
Let's go to the audience. Where's our first question?
St. Albans.
Winner!
Okay. Actually, question. First, the show saved my life. That's kind of the only way I can put it without talking for 10 minutes. But thank you for that. Okay, action. I can speak. What is your favorite fan story? Just crazy, run into brown coat on the street and say, "Hey, Kevin," which I saw on Twitter once, Nathan, and stuff. I'm not good at parent attack, really.
Hey, speaking of Twitter, last night I saw on Twitter there were some folks hanging out in line. I ran down there. I don't know what time you lined up, maybe 8 o'clock. I came down like 11:30, and you were all there, and you were very nice, so thank you for that. And I got a cupcake. Spiked.
looks like our contest winner has her hat on. Can we get a shot?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, next question. You want your crazy? Okay, so one crazy fan story. How was my crazy fans? Crazy fans. That's what she asked.
Oh, sorry. I watched one time when a woman walked up to you, Joss, and we were in the foyer of a building, and a woman walked up to you and made to speak and broke down into tears.
I kicked her.
Which surprised me, because she knew me very well. And now I do. But much like you said, and it always warms my heart when people say it had an effect, when you say it saved your life. Obviously, this woman, you touched her in a when people are moved, I like that.
Do you remember the time? Do you remember the time that we were off the air for 10 years? And then,
Like it was
like
yesterday.
thousands of people showed up to see us anyway. Remember that?
I was thinking ahead.
Next question.
Market management.
Hi, is Enora's missing storyline ever going to be put into a graphic novel? And if not, can you fill us in on what it was?
I'm sure Miranda's going to tweet about it or something. Or maybe Tim will talk about it.
Hey, somebody
in the
said that
science
Ben Edlund
channel
already
and
spilled
just
it.
did.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I do actually. You really told everybody. Yeah. Oh man.
It won't air. It hasn't aired
Almost inked the deal.
Only on the Science Channel.
yet. Yeah, it hasn't aired yet, so you can go ahead.
No, I'm not going to say anything, but I am going to say that Dark Horse, which has been doing the Firefly and the Serenity books, they keep changing their name because the rights keep floating from Universal to Fox, and it's very strange. But it's our peeps. They're their biggest selling books of all time. They're bigger than Buffy. They're bigger than Hellboy. They're bigger than anything else they have. The biggest hardcover they've ever sold was The Shepherd's Tale. This is true, which is the work of myself and a brilliant young man named Zach Wheaton, Chris Samney, and so we're going to be continuing with that. Zach and I just spent some time figuring out how to do some comics actually moving forward in the future and not just telling stories from the past, because we started talking about it and we came up with all this amazing cool shit. So it's just I didn't think of it as a comic, but apparently I was the only one. So look forward to that. And I want to thank Dark Horse for carrying that banner, because they were pretty fierce about hounding me about getting it done.
Question.
Good afternoon, I'm Moses on the Twitter. And I'd like to know from the panel if you have a particularly favorite piece of fan art, tribute, or fiction you'd like to share with us.
Alan, your sister.
Oh, yeah!
It still hangs in my house.
Oh, that's so cool!
I still have yet to thank her for it.
Oh, yeah! Well, she'll probably will watch this on YouTube at some point. But yeah, my sister is an artist, and when we were canceled, I asked her to make a painting. I commissioned her to do this painting of of Joss protecting a firefly in a jar from some evil Fox executives. Jar and like arms and she's a really good artist.
Executives are all just hanging suits with faces on
Yeah,
them.
that's right.
It's a beautiful painting. It has me in it. I feel really weird, but it's just so gorgeous. And then how I look at it, you know, with enough critical distance of get over the fact that it's about that you're in it, and just go, this is the exact story of what happened. It's so beautifully rendered, and it's so dark, and it's best.
Nice.
There's a guy here, Jason Palmer.
Jason Palmer.
He does really neat stuff. He's a very talented guy. He makes. I like that when he draws my face. It looks just like me, only better looking.
And pretty soon he's going to do some nudes.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hi guys. After hearing a bunch of the crew members on various DC animated shows, would you ever consider doing Firefly as an animated series?
You know, I get it, but for some reason, I would be more interested in doing it as a radio show.
And you know, a little something like this.
Close your eyes.
Wash.
Sorry, I was asleep.
Looks like we're heading into Atmo. I'm gonna meet you at the bridge.
Yeah, sure thing, Captain. God dang it.
Hey Zoe, what up? Now that he's gone. You say, oh,
Captain, please still go to my room.
So I should say something really, really smart, really informative and intelligent.
I think you might have a fever.
a fever? And the only cure is more Firefly.
That's what, yeah, keep it by the end of the day.
Next question.
Question for Joss. Firefly, one of the things I loved about Firefly was the exploration of the fusion of Asian and American cultures. Many Asian Americans go through a similar journey. I was wondering if you were to explore that again in the future, if you would be willing to include Asian or Asian American performers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a mission statement in terms of who I'm casting for a particular thing. It was a mission statement with the show to say, you know, there's cultures inevitably blend, even if it happens through conquest and violence. Even if one country invades another, eventually they incorporate it. I liked the utopian idea that the two greatest superpowers on Earth at this point sort of had melded instead of just being pissy with each other. And you know, I think, again, when I said immigrant story, I meant that specifically. I wanted, you know, the cultures just to show the way you look back and what you think of as what's going on. Summer! And then, to wrap it up, I got a lot of flack from one Asian journalist who kept asking why I cast an Asian woman as Sean Marr's sister. That didn't make any sense. And he was very angry about it. Yeah.
Wait a second.
if a part of you is like, well, where are these screaming people a decade ago?
That's a good point.
In fairness.
In preschool, I think.
Yeah.
I love when people apologize to me. Like, I'm really sorry. I didn't see the show till it was on DVD. I was like, so you didn't see the show until I got paid for it? You had to buy it from me? God damn you! You know what? That was never a question. The 27 people who saw it when it aired loved it.
I said this earlier today, so forgive me if you're going to hear it again. I said earlier that when Firefly died, I thought it was the worst thing that could possibly happen. And what I realize now, 10 years later, looking out over this room, is that the worst thing that could have happened is if it had stayed dead. That it died is okay. That you guys are here.
Can we just, everybody just tweet that I said that? I don't want him to have the best.
Relax, relax. Let's listen to the lady with an amazing t-shirt. Extremely intelligent to me, and I want to know what she's got on her mind.
It's actually also my birthday. So spend it. And I wanted to know if you guys have ever camped out all night long for something, and if you have, what was it?
Camping. Happy birthday again.
I did camping once, but I called my mom to come pick me up in the middle of the night. I never stayed overnight. I was scared. I walked
The longest I camped would have been like a Baby Jane and then some other great gay classic.
All right, next question. We camped out 4 up there.
We have time for one more question.
Make it good.
Go.
No pressure.
Hey, had you known that season 1 would be the last season of Firefly, how would the finale have differed from Serenity?
Good question. Thank you.
Would have been littler. A lot of the reefers would have been off screen. Oh my God, look at those ones over there as well. They're also there. In addition to the 2 you can see. How many people realize that when Firefly was being made, it had a smaller budget than both Buffy and Angel? It was the cheapest show ever making. Which to me, when I watch it, is extraordinary. But apart from that, I think obviously a couple of things would have been different. Even if they had canceled the show and I absolutely knew that that was the end of the show, I don't think I would have killed anybody.
Leap in the wind!
The film is a different animal and has different needs. And I think we would have delved more heavily into the Blue Sun conspiracy aspect of it, which we had to drop for the movie, which I was sorry about. And we would have learned about Book, and we would have learned about Inara. And for some reason, that's the question that's going to make me cry. That's okay. You know what? That is a good last question.
Joss one more question. We'd like to roll a clip.